Well, hi Penelope, I'm so excited we're doing this communication session with Harry.
Great, Jeannie. I'm glad to be here today, and I'm really excited to talk to Harry. He's really been wanting to communicate.
I know. So where shall we start? Do you want me to tell you anything or just want to hear what he has to say?
You can tell people just what his breed is.
Okay.
How old is he, and how long has he been with you?
Okay. So Harry, I adopted him. He was in a family of 12 dogs, or a household with 12 dogs. His mother was a Great Pyrenees, and his father was a Shih Tzu Bison Frise. So go figure that out. So he's about 3 years old, and he has passed his therapy dog test, which we're very happy about. So Harry goes to visit 911 operators, he goes to the VA, and he works with high school students.
Wow.
So he's just a total love ball in the classroom. He's got some behavioral issues, which we'll probably chat about.
Okay.
But what's exciting is in the classroom with the teenagers, he's able to tell which of the students, we work with students who are in counseling, but he knows which student needs the attention.
Exactly.
And he will go and lay with that person as long as they want.
Yeah, I understand that completely. Oh, being a very sensitive being, and often dogs who are therapy dogs, or I've had dogs who help me in teaching, and they go right to the people who need them.
Right to whoever needs it most.
Exactly.
And he was giving this one girl all this attention, and everybody was getting jealous. I found out she's in foster care.
Oh.
And he knew. Nobody knew. I didn't know. Nobody knew. Harry knew.
Yeah. So let me shift now, and first we'll start off with asking Harry what he wants to tell about himself or his life or anything that he wants to communicate. Okay. He first shows me himself standing tall, sitting tall, and looking at me directly, even though now he's very relaxed, but he is communicating even though his body is lying down. He doesn't need to be like a human looking at you to communicate. And he showed me himself very noble. And he says, I come from a line of very noble beings. I am here to hold, he gave me the fortress, and he showed me this spiritual fortress with light, white light and golden light. It looks really beautiful, like crystalline.
Yeah.
And he says, I hold this spiritual fortress of nobility. My aim with people, and he says, I am meant to be with humans to help them. He says, my aim is to help them to radiate and feel that light that's within them. I recognize myself as a spiritual master. And he's showing me very, very clearly that he feels, Pico went right over to him. he's going, well, he's communicating, and he got right in the stream of the communication. That was interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting. So he says that when I'm with people, they start to feel that energy of who they are. And he said, that's why I really appreciate being with Jeannie, because she sees who I am and I can fulfill my role.
Yeah.
And he shows me, he says, and there's a particular reason why I chose this color of body. He says, because my favorite thing is white light.
Okay.
And he said that this helps people to recognize both the white reflecting off of my fur and the white light that's within me and within them. Let me see if there's anything else. He said, then he said, that's the most important thing I wanted to say. But let me continue to check with him. Anything about his life that he'd like to talk about? He says, no, just Jeannie has questions.
Yeah. So what is his relationship to this, I don't know what to call it, palace, place, this spiritual place? What is his role in regards to that?
He says that representation was of his nobility.
Okay.
So he says it's not really a place like a physical
Right.
place. He says it's what I showed you to show the light radiating out of the crystals.
Okay.
And so he says it's not a place I go to in particular, which you may interpret that.
Right.
He says, but no, it shows where I sit. It shows my nobility.
Yeah.
It shows where I sit and how I radiate the light. And again, he shows me this beautiful crystalline structure, this fortress, as he called it, a spiritual fortress.
Spiritual fortress.
And just the beautiful light coming on
Yeah, I can
out of
see
it.
it.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. And in his body, he shows me it overlaid over his body. He said, and people will recognize that. They'll
Yes.
feel it, even if they don't see it.
Right.
He says they'll recognize it and they'll feel stronger,
Inside.
taller, more noble as a spirit.
Okay.
And the light. So
Yeah.
that was the representation he gave me of.
Well, that's wonderful because I feel like I've never had a big dog before. I never imagined I would have a big dog before, but I do see that he needs to show the world this nobility, and by having this large form, it helps people to feel it, and they do. When they meet him, they just have that sense.
Yeah, it's very, to me, it's really obvious. He'll sit. In the short time I've been with him, he'll sit and I feel his radiance.
Yes.
And that, and the sweetness along with the nobility, even though he didn't mention that. I mean, there's a tremendous big heart.
Big heart.
Yeah.
Big heart.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, is there anything that he wants us to know about making his life even more good? Is there anything we can do to help him feel more safe and comfortable?
Okay, let me check with him. He says, I feel safe and comfortable within myself. There's certain things I'm a little nervous about as a dog. He says, some of the things that come out of my dog body are foreign to me. He says, the sense of guarding and snapping. He says, sometimes that comes out of me. And he says, that's a little bit foreign to me, but it kind of takes over. And so he attempts to kind of bring it back and just have it show as that strength and nobility. But he said, I'm still working on that.
Yes, it's a work in progress like we all are.
Yeah, he said, I'm still working on that because it's not something I particularly want to project.
Right. We're not happy with that. Well, let me ask you one thing, because when I leave, when he's alone in the house, meeting without any humans in the house, he can get into the garbage or get into food on counters, things that I didn't think he could possibly get, and not things I deliberately left out, but I think, oh, he'll never get that, and he gets it. Opens cupboards and opens garbage cans, and we can come home to a trail of stuff.
He says, I feel very restless when you're not here. A lot of what I'm doing now is getting more and more comfortable with my body.
Okay.
He said, it is not familiar to me. This is a very new experience. And he says that when you aren't here to anchor it, he gets restless. He gets nervous. He feels very comfortable when he's out doing his service with people. He feels like, okay, that's where he belongs. And let me get more of what the feeling is of what happens. He says, I don't know what to do with myself. I feel all this energy and it has nowhere to go. So let me ask him, I got that. I can really feel that. Let me ask him how we can help him with that. He says, I need to feel more utilized. I need to feel like I'm really doing something. Okay. So what happens is it feels like he feels a disconnection from his work and service, which is connected with you. So what I feel, and I'm checking with him as I'm saying this, would help him is if you can ask him particularly before you leave, I need your help with this. I need you to help me with this. A real task, you know, I need you to help me with this person, or I need you to help me with my work, and I need you to focus with me, and I'm going to stay connected with you. I'm going to remember, you know, and while you're out, just a few times even, just remember your connection with him. And then he feels more anchored.
Okay.
Because he feels a bit uprooted. And I can feel how very natural that is as a dog. And yet he feels it as very, that it's something he needs to learn. And so you're going to need to help him to learn that.
Is it his first lifetime as a dog?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he showed me that very, very clearly.
Okay.
This is new. He knew that by being this dog, I mean, this is what you needed, and he wanted to be with you and your old friends.
Yes.
Your old friends from many lifetimes, and the nobility thing kind of shines through it all.
Okay.
And you've served together before in helping people, helping other beings, but he has had other forms.
Yeah, other forms.
He's had human forms. He's also had, actually it's very interesting because first he showed me like mythological forms, and he says, oh well, yeah, that's how we always represent them in Egypt. He said in Egypt. And then he shifted over somewhere in Asia, in East Asia. He showed me that a statue of like a big cat. And then he says, well, I'm showing you these things because we worked in temples.
Okay.
We worked in temples together. So he said that he knew that he had to have a dog body, but he's very unfamiliar with dogs.
Okay.
And so he needs you to help him.
To be a dog?
Yeah, well, you need to be more explicit with him. Like you need to spell things out a little bit more.
Okay.
Like this is what we're going to do. This is how we stay connected.
Okay.
This is how I need you to help me every hour of the day. Because you got to realize he has tremendous energy coming through his body.
Okay.
Not only as a dog, but as a spirit.
Okay.
And he needs to use it.
All right.
So, you know, include him obviously in your meditations, which I'm sure you probably already do. Include him in any time you're thinking about your work. Just say, you know, we're doing this together. And this will help settle him.
Okay.
So that he doesn't feel this
disconnect.
Okay. Yeah, and the lack of an anchor when you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
And it's really important to him. You know, because he wants to fulfill his mission more and more. And you'll see after this, he's showing me, he says, oh God, I feel so relieved that these behaviors, some of these snappy dog behaviors, will recede.
Okay.
Yeah, because this is grounding him more.
Okay.
And he's feeling more comfortable.
Yes.
About handling the dog thing.
Okay. Okay.
While still, he's very good at shining the light. He has no problem with that.
Yes. Okay. All right. Wonderful. Yeah. So, is there something about the therapy dog work that maybe I'm not aware of that he would like to do more of, or are we on track?
He says, the more people I see, the better.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
He saw 1,000 kids this week.
Wow.
Yeah.
And see, that fulfills him.
Yeah.
He says, yes, yes. The more I see, the better.
Okay.
The better I feel, the more I feel I'm fulfilling my mission. He says, I'm not a dog or a being who can be left vacant.
Okay.
He says, I have to have something to be busy with, to work with,
right,
all the time.
Well, it's funny because he was in another household with 12 dogs, and he was the lowest man on the totem pole, even though some of them were as small as Pico, right? But a woman brought him to class. I took one look at him and I said, you know how you say to people, if you ever want to get rid of him, I'll take him. And she said, okay. And I was like, that's how it happened. I said, Maureen.
But see, he was completely out of his element there.
Yeah.
He was not doing,
no,
he wasn't able to do anything. He was waiting for you.
Yeah.
I mean, he knew you. He was waiting for you to come.
Wow.
And so they also looked at him, the other dogs, as like, you're sort of, you don't belong here.
Yeah, and he doesn't, because of yeah.
And they rejected him.
Yeah.
And he says, you don't belong here. And he's going, yeah, I'm waiting for my person to come. You know? Yeah. So it's a incredible match. Incredible, beautiful working relationship. But it has to be a working relationship.
Yes,
That's important to him.
Yeah, well, it really helps me to understand the nobility angle, because I hadn't thought about that. I wasn't aware of that, and that really helps me to position it sort of energetically.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Is there anything else he wants to say before we close our session?
But he's more interested in if you have any questions. Right now, he flipped it back to you.
Okay, flipped it back to me.
Yeah.
Back to you, Jeannie.
Because he feels like you have a question that you haven't answered.
Right. I'd like to know if he can help me energetically with the new book that I'm writing, with the new work. It's for 11-year-old girls, and it's about unicorns.
Wow.
And I'd like to know if he can help me kind of in a way that I'm not seeing yet.
Yeah. He says, this is very natural for me. He said, this is part of what I'm here for. And what those girls need, and what you need to project through that book, is exactly what I'm here for. It's bringing the light out, the nobility and the light. And it's very interesting because he focused on mythological animals, and I got a brief glimpse, but it went away, of a unicorn, so I didn't mention it.
Okay.
And he says, yes, that's a perfect vehicle to show the nobility of standing tall and radiating the white light.
The light. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's really, really interesting. That's why he wanted you to ask that.
All right.
Now I'll check with him if he has anything more. He says, no, I've said everything that I want to say. He said, my person understands me very, very well. And he says, I'm feeling my way into all this too. We're feeling our way together to for both of us to be the best we can be.
Beautiful.
Yeah. It's pretty stupendous. I was really looking forward to this because he came forward and said, I have a lot to say.
Yes.
And and I could feel the depth of the spirituality.
Yes.
You know, so.
Yeah, that's wonderful. That gives me a lot to really dive into, that the white light and the nobility. Yes. Is he happy with his name, Harry?
That could even be part of your new book. You know, that crystalline structure with the light.
Oh.
And you could include the unicorns in that because it seems to all go together.
Okay. Okay.
The mission. So let me ask him about that.
Yeah.
He says, Harry was the exact name I gave you.
Okay, good.
He says, you got it exactly right. I know you said that you got it from somewhere else, but no, you got it from me.
Yeah. Okay.
And he says, Harry says it all.
Yes.
It's grounding.
That's what people, when they meet him, they feel so comfortable. It's such a simple name.
Yeah.
And it's so who he is. He is so
it's
Harry.
Grounding.
It brings joy to people.
Yes, and it helps him to connect with the earth. You know,
and it's my grandfather's name. So.
Yeah, beautiful. Beautiful.
Well,
he's very happy.
Thank you so much. Thank you for seeing the nobility in him.
Yeah.
You know,
What I love about when they express themselves like this is that a lot of things change.
Yeah.
You know, things melt.
Yes.
You know, the resistances he had and behaviors, a lot of them kind of melt away, or you understand him more and you can help him with them much easier. Both kind of happen at the same time.
Right, because he feels seen.
Yeah.
Yeah, and heard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Thank you.
Great.